Ladies and gentlemen, today's is the Just Believe show. Today, I'm honored to have not only a returning guest, but a good friend that over the years we grew and we grew a lot. I watched and listened probably a couple of months ago, as you said, like I listened to our first interview that we did and just to watch the growth. And we went from just two guys just having these great ideas to two guys just putting the words into action. I started speaking, Craig started speaking as well, and Craig not only started speaking, he did something phenomenal and he created a book. The guest that I have today is Craig Cooper, and his book, you want to read it out for me?
When His Soul Cries, the man's anthology right here.
I love
Powerful, powerful.
love it. I love it. Craig Cooper, welcome back, man. I'm honored to have you back on. I'm honored just to be in the little king circle that you created. Thank you,
Appreciate
man.
that, bro.
Seriously, man. From the bottom of my heart, I think we connected what, 3 3 years ago, going on 4 years now.
2020, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, going on
yeah.
4 years and just to see, "Hey, man, I'm thinking about doing this," and, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing that," to doing it, man. So I just wanted to give you your flowers because you deserve it, man. It can be very challenging getting to the entrepreneur world, sharing your story with the world, being vulnerable, coming over demons and stuff, but you're doing it, and I wanna say congrats, man.
Appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you because we roughly shared our ideas with each other. Hey, got this idea, and then to see all our ideas come to fruition, man, proud, man.
Yeah, proud moment. So for those who may not heard about your story, just let's talk about it, please.
Okay. As I've been sharing my story like, over a podcast or a book, whether it's through public events, I realized where my journey started with depression and suicide ideations. For me personally, I feel like my journey started when I was in the fourth grade. My journey started, picture this real quick for all the audience members. Imagine 1994, fourth grade setting. You have a total of 25, 30 kids back in the day. So at one point, I got pulled out of the class. The school system wasn't as opening, as welcoming as they don't even call it special ed. They call it resource, a different name to it. Back then, I got told I was put into a special ed class. The time my mom didn't even know what's going on with the school system. Didn't really tell her a whole lot. So I got transferred to a class of 25. I go from a 25 setting to a class of 5 kids, to a classroom with no windows and all that. So one day in particular, I'm rushing back to my class. I'm trying to rush because I'm excited. I just had a good day. I got a good grade on my test. The work is super easy for some reason. I feel like they're not really challenging it too much. So I run back, by the way, y'all, I'm very clumsy. To this day, I'm very clumsy. So I run back to the classroom, bump my knee, yes, boom. And I was trying to not to be, my seat happens to be like towards the front. And the teacher, she heard that she's irritated by my presence, unfortunately. She mumbles under her breath, like really low, but low enough where they can hear, but I can hear. The retarded kids are coming. Oh shit. I'm like, and for me, it's just like, damn, like you was a trusted adult. Like you was somebody I actually took a liking to. And I feel like that kind of had a negative spiral for me getting some depression, me getting thought of maybe I don't belong in a setting. Honestly, when I tell people this, people are like, how's that possible? Honestly, I don't really have any good memories of school from kindergarten all the way to 12th because I was so lost in trying to figure out who I was as a person. The scariest place you can be is stuck in your own head. But you can be the most handsome, the most gorgeous, the most fit, whatever the case may be. Other people may see your presence as something different, but the way you see it in the mirror is something totally different to the point where I don't really see the person that I am. So this depression and self-hate followed me all the way up to my early stages of life, to my teens, to my early 20s. Fast forward to all the way to my 20s. It's like 2008 was really my roughest year of my life. It was to the point where I would have my chronic spells. Remember back then, we didn't have myself to speak. It wasn't Herbie speaking, Isaiah. It wasn't men's mental health wasn't that well known. The idea of a man being strong was muscles, superheroes. your Batman, your Superman, your Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, all them. Those were your heroes, right? So it was hard to me to open up, to say how I feel. To the point where, okay, I remember it took me like at least about 5 or 10 times to get up in the morning to get out the house. Okay, time number 5, crying my eyes out. Remember, I don't really understand what depression is. It's not that well known. You know what I'm saying? At this time, I'm working at a fast food restaurant, and I told myself, oh, before that, I'm on the train. I'm catching the train to go to work, and I have sunglasses on this particular day. And I remember I had that slow tear come down my eyes. And I can hear the devil in my ear saying, today is the day. This is it. 2008, this is around like April and May. I'm like, you know what? Without hesitation, I agreed to that. I'm like, okay, you're right. This is the day. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take myself out. I developed a plan for myself. I'm going to face it like I'm at work and all this. So as I go home, face sick and all that, I guess my one of my friends told my mom, like, he's feeling sad or whatever. I don't know how she said it, but the conversation saved my life in a sense. You know, I'm in the mirror. This is the same mirror I see every day. This is the same reflection I see every day. When you get to the point where it's a guy, it's a young man, it's a young woman right now battling the same thing right now, look in the mirror and not liking look in the mirror and it's crying your eyes out, trying to encourage yourself, say, you're beautiful, you're smart, you still don't see that. That was me. Got a piece of paper in my hand, pills in my hand, goodbye note. Mom, I'm sorry. Dad, I'm sorry. Brother, sister, cousin, I'm sorry. I tried. I tried. Best. I cannot fight this anymore. This thing is whooping my ass. Excuse my language.
You good.
And it was a point where I got a phone call. Mom was, wait, were you okay? Sometimes when a person's going through depression, a person's going through divorce, a person's going through a breakup, lost a job, sometimes you want to hear a person says, I love you. And my mom said, I love you. For some reason, that it's stuck differently. It was just there, and she gave me the tightest hug in the world. My mom, to this day, has been my number one safe place. The person who encouraged me, okay, what's your feeling? It's to the point where she get up in the mirror, she used to write like Bible scriptures, like on the wall or something like that. One time she wrote, I guess she had like makeup or something like that. She wrote, no, it was lipstick. She wrote on the wall. Yeah, lipstick on the wall. First, I was like, what the hell? The joke?
What is the jokers going on here?
Right. So it was just saying, son, I love you. But she was encouraging me to get that help and to talk it out. I went to a therapist one time, 2009, I think. And this is what I did. And I feel like a lot of youth do this. You go to a therapist and the therapist can't relate to you. Saying the therapist, he's an older white guy. Not saying listen because he's white, because he's a age, a big
An
age gap.
gap. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He couldn't, I feel like he was talking over my head. I'm like, how you feeling? I said, I'm okay. I just told him, okay, I lied. I said I was okay. And it's to the point where I had to lie about that. So I started to do certain things to get me out of that dark place. It took more than one thing. A lot of times when a person is going through depression, maybe it's a loved one or your son, your daughter, your wife, cousin, whatever, and you want them to get out of that depression so bad, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with one prayer. It doesn't, I wish it did. I really wish it did. It doesn't happen with one conversation. This may be a daily climb. This may be a daily walk. Maybe I'll tell that person 1 second, 1 hour at a time. Also, my advice to this, as I'm going to the next point, sometimes the person may not want to hear it's going to be okay. But that moment, they might not feel like that. They might like feel like, you know what, this shit sucks. You be like, you know what, I know right now, it's difficult right now, but I'm here for you. And sometimes you want to hear, I'm here for you. So my mom suggested I go to the gym. Anybody that follows me, I can't stay out with you. So at first I was like, the gym? What the hell? I want to do that.
I don't feel like doing that.
I don't want to do that.
Wait,
So
hold on. Before we even talk about that, because man,
mhm,
there's so much to unpack from just being in the 4th grade and experience that.
yeah,
You know, you are in a class with 20, 30 students, right?
Right.
Just, hey, these are my friends, these are my colleagues, these are La Familia for the 5 days I have to be here, right?
Right. Right.
And then come to find out, maybe they gave you an exam or they saw you did something. Maybe they thought his clumsiness is not something that's normal. Let's put him in a class with those with
Mhm.
special needs. Now you're in a
Mhm.
class where it's at least 25 students, and now it's 5.
Mhm.
Now you can't even look out the window like, man, I don't even see a car outside. I don't see nothing. It's just like a room,
Yep.
almost like a dungeon, according to what you're saying, with no light. The work is not there. And for a teacher, that's an adult that knows every person is different.
Yeah.
Every person needs the same love and attention, no matter if they have special needs or not. And for her to use the R word around around kids, that alters anyone. Man, kids are cruel in school after a certain age, after the kindergartens, they tell the truth and they tell jokes, and some of those jokes hit home, and then that alter anyone, right? Man, am I that smart? And
Yeah.
am I dumb? What is wrong with me? Why me? You start questioning things, and even if you have a conversation with your parents, they may sit back and show you some confidence, some love, give you some quotes or whatever, but they're not in school with you for them 6, 7 hours when it's, "Man, this is my reality for the next 5 days." Here go my friends that I used to hang out with at the lunch table, now they looking at me sideways. They don't understand that. So that's why it's like that moment can alter anyone, right? Stunt your growth to say the least. And for you to carry that from all the way to high school, and I'm pretty sure in high school is you were probably questioning yourself as a person, just like any other high school kid, right? Like, why am I here? What's my next moves? To experience that from elementary, probably a little bit in middle school, but even in high school is, man, now I don't have an identity. I don't know how to really communicate, and I can't really communicate with my teachers because they just gonna view me as that, lack of a better word, retarded kid, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I hate using that R word, but
Yeah,
that's how they
same.
used to talk in the '90s,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. 90s, rough. Yeah. Yeah.
But and it's for anyone, you question yourself, you question your next moves, "Am I this? Am I that?" And as you were saying, like, growing up, like, the guy thing was just keeping it up and bottled up inside these emotions of however you feel. And
Mhm.
if you want to release some frustration, go play sports, get that out that way, or
Yep.
go, hit the weights, do
Mhm.
something manly. Oh, you don't know what to do? Okay, here, let's go get this construction job or something like that. Like you get your hands dirty, the blue collar type of thing. And that can just be shocking in itself. Now you're a young adult. Now you're sitting here, okay, I think I got to figure out. And then you look in the mirror one day and you're like, I don't. I am a shell of myself. Hell, I don't even know who I am.
Yep. That's what it was.
I don't know if I belong here. I don't know if I'm loved. I feel like the world would be better without. Let me make
Mhm.
this forever decision for I don't want to say a temporary pain, but it is temporary. And for whatever conversation you can have with your buddy, to sit there to call your moms up and be like, hey, Craig, something wrong with him. I don't know what it is, but I think he needs some mom love. And for her to sit there and acknowledge that, to say, you know what? Yeah, I know my son been acting different, and his buddy called me up, so this has to be serious. And for
Mhm.
her to take the steps to provide that support. And when it comes to support, I want people to understand support is very different when it comes to just, doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, everything's gonna be fine, everything's gonna be great. Support is just being there. Okay, what's wrong? Hey, Craig, I'm creating a safe space for you. Go vent. I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm gonna listen to you vent. You can use whatever F words you need to use
Yeah.
right now to release
Yeah.
those emotions. So this way I can understand what's going on. I may not be able to help you, but I can understand, okay, this is a serious matter. Maybe we can go to Google and look up some resources together to try to help you out. And I love what you just said about you being brave enough to go seek therapy, but then realizing, man, there's a language barrier. And it's not a
Mhm.
language barrier based off of the skin color, it's the language barrier based off of age.
Yeah.
You might be using some Jay-Z lines or whatever, or you may be talking in a sense of hip hop terms, quote unquote,
Yeah.
and he may not get it, right? Like,
Right.
yeah, man, hey, yo, you can talk about the WWE. And if he doesn't watch it, he doesn't get it. That's a language barrier. It doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily have to be Spanish or French or anything like that. It's just a certain language that you talk to. You want to make sure that person gets it. And that's something that what I tell people when you're looking for a therapist or social worker or whomever, make sure the language barrier is there. Like for myself, like I watch wrestling, I watch sports, Seinfeld, The Office, and I listen to hip hop. I have to. I'm from the Bronx, so it's required. But but if I use these terms and a person don't get it,
Mhm.
and I'm trying to help you enter my world on why I think what I think, that is a major thing of understanding how to communicate with me. You can use whatever words, but if I'm like, man, hey, right now, I feel like John Cena, nobody can't see me. You might be like, what the hell is this kid talking about?
Yeah.
But in my eyes, I'm trying to say my confidence is high. I feel unstoppable. I feel like a champion of the world. And
Yeah.
it's something like that. I had to decode it for those who don't know who John Cena is. But I love that you said that because it's very important to understand the language barrier. And it's just something that you want to find somebody that can vibe with you where you don't have to be uncomfortable. Cause in that session, in that place, I should say not even session, in that place, you want to be authentically you.
Mhm.
So I
That's so important because actually, like Torres, like going to the gym, I met CJ. Anybody know he's a part of United King Circle. Awesome dude, my brother, saved my life in a sense. The conversation that we had, like you just said, we was going to the gym. This is like my first year working out. He's already looked like a goddamn action figure. Oh, so,
does. He
so I
does.
like I want to look like that at some point.
He looks like the
So
black Superman for
he
real. Like
he, he literally is the black super. I remember my energy was so grown and aggressive, and I was just so angry. I was just so angry. I remember we driving to the gym. I'm just cussing every single word was an F word. This is how I feel. He driving. Like, okay, I hear you. That part, I hear you say me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when, let's just say for the audience, you got a person who's venting towards you, like child, cousin, whatever the case may be, maybe your school teacher, and you want to rush to get the answer so bad. Sometimes you don't have to. I learned this. I'm in the school system myself. I'm a youth development specialist. I'm not rushing to get the answer. I'm rushing, hey, you okay? We can talk. Let them vent. Let them say what they need to say. Sometimes you may have to circle back. You may have the answer tomorrow. But the fact that he's okay, I got you. We'll figure it out. Mm. As a matter of fact, I'm angry too. He's angry. I'm angry. So now look at us years later. He's married. I'm married. You just never know how your words can either add to someone's another day to save their life or add to someone saying, you know what? He The fact that this is the last person I talked to and this last person I want to vent to, yeah, you're right. I should go ahead and end it. You just never know.
yeah, I'm glad you said that. That's why I always try to lead by kindness and being empathetic because
Yeah.
you don't know what someone's going through. You really don't. For my part of my story was like my ex-girlfriend, who's now my wife, she came over randomly. To this day, I have no idea why. I asked her, and she's, "I don't know why, something told me to." And I was in the darkest place of my life where I was just
Mm.
like, "All right, that's it. I had enough." And she created a safe space for me. Like, "All right, what's going on? I never seen you like this. I never seen you reek of alcohol. I never seen you this angry, this frustrated, this soulless, to be honest." And for her to sit there and just be like, "Okay, I'm listening. I don't understand why you feel like this." And then we sat down and we talked for a while before we called the suicide prevention lifeline number. And once we did that, she was just like, "Okay, this is something serious." And then I big racked myself. And that experience was totally different than what I envisioned in my life, but it was something that I needed. But for her to really just be like, "Look, I don't get it. I'm here to just listen Okay, let's find a solution. Okay, this is something serious. If you feel like this is good, that's cool. And then
Mhm.
circle back around once I got out and everything. She was just like, "Oh, okay, cool. Is there anything that I can do to help just support you? We don't gotta be together or anything like that. I just wanna make sure you're gonna be alive if I check on you in a month or so." So it was
Yeah.
just like that was like real genuine and that kindness and that empathy is something that people don't really talk about too much. And even to this day, just based on my experience, I always make sure that if I come across somebody and they seem angry, I'm like, "Hey, you alright? Good." Or just even if they don't seem angry, I'm just like, "Hey, how you doing?" "Okay, cool." And I'm not gonna lie to you, that led to some random conversations in the supermarket where I'm like, "Yo, oh, I guess we having this." I guess spirit that told this person, "Hey, connect with him," and we have these
Wow.
conversations, and it's just, "Alright, cool." And now, not even to say I'm becoming big, I don't wanna seem, like, arrogant or anything like that. Like, a couple times I've been in the supermarket, been walking around Walmart or something like that, and it's based off of my raps, people like, "Hey, hey, are you the guy that talk about mental health?" And then
Oh,
"Hey, I'm struggling right now. Do you
wow.
have any resources or anything?" And I'll just pull out the phone like, "Hey, yeah, here goes a resource." And that's wild for someone to know who I am.
That's
Uh,
cool. Wow.
and but to be like, "Hey, do you have any resources or anything like that?
Yeah.
Or are you doing coaching or anything like that?" And just to have those conversations. And like, this is why I go so hard. This is why I go so hard on social media. The person said they found me, you're gonna laugh, on LinkedIn. It's, "Hey, I saw your content on LinkedIn. Somebody else
Wow.
shared it.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at your content. Thanks for what you're doing." And I was like, "Oh man, random." I was thinking about DM you, but the universe worked out where I was just in Walmart and we just had a conversation for about a good 20 minutes.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I was like,
You just
never
never
know.
know how one post or one tweet or whatever, or one public event can save someone's life. Because what I realized also with a lot of men are waiting in the silence. They may not speak right away, but they hear you. It's the reason why I literally had to get out my head of I need to talk. I need to use my voice more. I need to say something because you never know. Your actions can save some life. He says.
Yeah, unfortunately, when it comes to suicide, men die 4 times by
Yeah.
suicide than women, so it's yeah, we hurt, but we're so accustomed to be manly, and we think being manly is being able to lift a car and keeping all our emotions inside. It's like, who hurt you enough for you to be able to lift a car? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's talk
Right.
about that,
Right.
and that's the conversation that needs to be had. I just want to shift gears because I also want to go back to your story.
Hmm.
So when it came to the conversation with your mom and you start working out with CJ in the gym, now you have, and this is what I want people to understand, you have a support system in CJ, but also a accountability partner. Was, man, I'm holding you accountable to show up, not show up in the sense of I need you to get in shape and be fit. I'm holding you accountable to show up because I want to make sure you're there as a person, okay? Because we
Hmm.
think of a accountability partner or a support system as someone that's just checking in, and he's, "No, I'm holding you accountable. This is the goal. We're gonna be at the gym 3 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever goal you guys set." And it probably was at a point where he's, "I'm not even gonna call you in the morning. I'm just gonna be at the gym and expect you to be there."
That's what I
Because
got. Yeah.
if you don't know CJ, I'm gonna tell you now that he pretty much operates like that.
Yeah.
And it's but that's something that I, being a coach and being a speaker, I acknowledge as like that person is your support system, and that person
Hmm.
is giving you that reason to get up in the morning when you don't feel like getting up, and showing you that you are worthy and that you are capable to be not only that intelligent person that you are, but you're also strong, not only physically, but mentally, because you're here at the gym with me at 5 a.m. and we're gonna work out until we pass out. And
Yep.
I think that's beautiful. I want to circle around like him being part of your support system and your mom. How was your mom actions when I'm pretty sure you had a conversation with her and let her know? I don't know if if you told her about the attempts or you just told her like, "Hey, I'm just in a dark place." How was that?
Good question. I did tell her about my suicidal attempt. It wasn't the easy conversation. And then when I told her, it wasn't as clear as get my words out, if that makes sense. Because I told her like in the burst of tears, because I didn't really understand where it was. So she completely, to this day, has been a strong source, even like suggesting like going to church more, like getting my spiritual right. So I'm gonna go back to a certain point. Even like when I went to the gym with CJ and I got all these muscles, I'm losing weight and all this, but I can honestly say there was a part of me that wish I would have done more in that area. It's
And
as
as
far
far
as
as
like, far as the
spiritual?
mental, far as
Okay.
the mental, spiritual. So imagine it's like a nice car. It's just sitting in the parking lot. Here's the keys. Drive it. It looks nice. Okay, looks nice. Can't somebody the keys? Oh, I'll drive it. Engine's messed up. Wipers are there. Side of gas. The exact same thing how I want to view myself. Get all these muscles. You got this smile, but you didn't do the inner work. So now you're putting yourself on discount because you're not really doing like the mental part and the spiritual part. And I had to like, okay, I had an honest conversation with myself. Okay, why am I attracting the wrong type? Why am I keep getting hurt over and over again? Why am I keep going in circles as far as not trusting certain people? Okay, it's what I didn't do.
The inner work.
The inner work, the root work, the groundwork. You know what I'm saying? Most people like, yeah, I got this six pack, got the abs, I got the booty, got whatever. But you have to do the inner work. You have to do the spiritual work. There is no getting away from that. There is no getting away from that.
I It's another analogy that I like to use. Everybody wants to get a house, a mansion, and all of that,
Mhm.
right? But no one pays attention to the foundation, and that's the
Great.
most important part when it comes to these houses or these mansions. Because on the outside, you look amazing, but your foundation was weak, and that's
Mm,
what it took you a moment to realize, "Man, I have to invest into this foundation of mine."
yep.
And investing into that foundation is not an easy task. I want people to understand because now you know that stove is hot, but now you have to touch the stove and relive the pain of the hurt of the man. I wish I would have spoke up to me. I would spoke up to this teacher when they said that when I was in the fourth grade. And it's now the adult side is I can speak up for myself, but the kid side is man, why didn't nobody speak up for me? And you put that pressure, you put that pressure on yourself. Like, why did I speak up? Why? And then you have to realize, man, I was just a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who put all that pressure on a kid?
Exactly. Yep.
Why am I
Yep.
so upset that I didn't speak up to that teacher? That teacher was wrong.
Yeah.
Now, what I should have spoke up to was maybe speaking to my mom and saying, "Hey, is there something wrong with me?" Maybe having more dialogue, more conversations, but then also like it was a
Hmm.
code. You're a dude. We ain't
Yeah.
talk about emotions.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
No, not at all. We ain't talking about emotions.
No.
And then it's like for you to have this experience of thinking about that forever decision. Now it's like you're looking at your whole life and you're trying to figure out where to start. What was the first place that you started to do the inner work with?
Wow. I feel like it happened in a couple of phases. It happened, remember I mentioned 2008 when I was going through depression, where at the time I had, so was talking to Max about this. Like at the time, it was like, mental health wasn't really popular like that. So I vented towards her. I'm like, hey, I'm going through this thing. I couldn't really explain it. I don't know how I said it, but I was like, I'm always sad. I'm always crying. I feel like I want to kill myself. That's what I was saying. And started to laugh. And it's one of those things where like a feeling of a female hurting me replayed in my mind over and over again. So you got the teacher, you got the ex. Remember, I mentioned earlier that I wasn't healed internally. So I'm tracking the wrong ones. So you're following the same circle over and over again. It got to the point where shit, enough is enough. I can't keep doing this to myself. Sometimes you have to hurt your own feelings. Point blank period. You have to hurt your own feelings. Who am I attracting? Why am I attracting only for looks? Why am I attracting this type of individual? Why am I attracting people who are toxic, who are bad for my energy, who are disrespecting my space? Why am I attracting these people? How do I show up as a person? When people see me, how do they see? Do they see this person who's, oh, let me take advantage of this person? He's not healed. Oh, let me take advantage of this person. He ain't got it all the way together. How am I showing up? When I tell you that shit hurt my feelings, I was like, honest moment. Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
But it was needed. It
But
was
it was
needed.
needed.
It was
Yeah.
needed.
This
And
is,
oh, good.
yeah. This 2007, like 17, 16, around that year. I said, you know what? I'm gonna get me together. I said this twice in 2008, and I said it 2017. At this 2017, I was like, look, I'm gonna get me together. I'm gonna just be friends. I'm gonna get me together all the way.
Yeah, oh,
Then
man. I love that you said that. I didn't wanna cut you off, but, oh, man,
I,
it's so when I left the behavioral health center, right?
mhm,
And I'm there and I'm just like, "Man, I'm on a tear," right? I'm broken. I have no idea who the hell I am.
yeah,
As I like to say, damaged goods. And
there it is. That's what that my bad cut you off, but that's what I was. I feel like I was damaged goods. Feel like it was a shit on the package right here. Fred Cooper damaged goods. I feel like it was on my forehead.
I'm
Feel
talking
like
about Amazon Prime delivery,
Amazon
baby.
Prime, specially delivered.
Overnight.
Every time I say, "Hi, my name is, how you doing?
Oh, it's
Oh,
damaged goods.
I'm
Oh, I can
damaged
take advantage of
goods.
this.
I'm
Yeah.
not healed. I had the trauma." Sometimes that's how we show up.
And so I'm like going around, I'm like, I'm damaged goods. And it wasn't until I was like, man, why, very similar to you,
Yeah.
attracting low vibration energy. Let's just put it like that. Oh my goodness. IG model. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Low vibration. All right.
Yeah.
You worried about a bag and ones. Okay. And I took myself out on a date. And I was just like, let me take out myself on a date and see who am I? Let me do some self-reflection. I went out, nowhere crazy. One of the spots that unfortunately you can't take on a first date. I took myself to Crapplebee's or Applebee's for those. And I just had
I did
just
the whole list. I was successful. The hell they talking about?
I know, right? So I took myself to Applebee's and I had a notebook with me.
Okay.
One of those like one subject notebooks.
Mhm.
And I ordered and I was just writing out my thoughts. And so it's like what type of people I'm attracting. And then while I'm writing my thoughts, I'm like thinking about my friends that's in my circle. And I'm like, okay, this person seems successful, but they're attracting this type of person. Okay. Okay, cool. Come to find out, we all damage goods, but some people just have that mask on, right? And for me, I was just like, I don't like this feeling. I don't I want to not only have the right person in my circle, but I want to be able to say I love me and me.
Mhm.
And after I stopped worrying about others, I just started writing and I'm munching down my food or whatever. And I'm just like, oh, okay, what can I do to show that? Who am I? Let's invest into yourself. And I was just like, man, I'm too broke to go on vacation. And I saved up some money, not even a lot. Just looked. I was like, man, I live in the state of Florida. We have like amazing beaches. I don't even go to the beach. Let me call one of my buddies. Hey, this weekend, 3 months from now, let's go to the beach. 2 days. Let's just chill. We're gonna get a hotel and chill. And that it was just like, he's, oh, you want to get some girls or what? I'm like, nah, just the guys. I
Mhm.
just have a conversation, just vet. And just do things and just really start self-love and self-care. And then just really seeing what is my love language? How do I want to show myself love? How do I want to receive love? And then one of the things was like positive affirmations. I'm like, man, nobody did that to me. Nobody showed me what positive affirmations was. Let me practice this now as an adult. Let me show that I'm worthy, I'm smart, I'm handsome, I can change the world. And how can I do that? By just believing. And that's some of the things that I've used. And then once I started doing that and building up the confidence and realizing that, okay, my foundation is not as weak as it used to be, it's getting stronger. Next thing, the Instagram models are weeding out. And then the
Mhm.
conversations of spiritual, intellectual conversations started happening, right? It's
Yeah.
not, oh, hey, did you see what happened with I'm like, oh, I'm not even on that. I'm reading this book right now. I'm reading for agreements right now. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I'm trying to get my
Right.
learning on. Oh, I just wait till the movie come out. And that's why we're not having a conversation. But
Mhm.
I'm glad that you mentioned that of understanding that you was damaged goods. I think this might be the title of the name of this episode.
Cool.
No, but What was the things that you did that really helped you get out of phase 1, phase 2, phase 3? And obviously working out is gonna be one of them. That seemed like that's your thing, but what is the other things that you do to help you stay on that path of, "Man, I'm good mentally. I'm not going back
Good,
to that dark place."
good question. I feel like the other added thing was doing mixed martial arts. I mentioned before, like I was a ball of anger. I couldn't wait to go there and just to punch something, just to kick something like that. I don't know where I'll be at if I didn't have that. To be honest, martial arts, doing Tai Chi, sparring back and forth, just having that self discipline I learned from the Dangerfield martial arts, just to have that confidence about that felt good. Like I could walk my head up high, knowing like I'm good no matter what. And it's not saying like I'm big as badass, nothing like that, but I'm cool with me. That was one of the things that started to, okay, this just feels good. I got to the point where like I write in the journal every single day. How do I feel? So check. To this day, I do this every day. I so check how I feel every day. I walk for 15 minutes with no music, no nothing, just straight silence. I'm talking to myself and talking to God. Okay, what's going on? So check is very important. Acknowledge how you feel. Acknowledge what you're going through. Acknowledge the day that's in front of you. Acknowledge the 8 hours you got to conquer. Like that helped me a lot. Another thing lately, having the courage to share my story. First, when I did it at first, it was so like, gosh, people want to think this and people want to hear what happened in fourth grade and all this. And when I got to the point where I don't care, I really don't care. I'll tell my story 1,000 times because I say this all the time. This is my quote that I created for myself. I really believe that you go through what you go through. Yeah, thanks to God, ring you out. You stand the hand to the next person saying, look, you ain't got to do that because I did that. Matter of fact, you can be smarter than me, you can be better, look, raise up higher. That helped me a lot. Even finding my purpose in my career, what I do now. It's been a year since I've been a youth development specialist at Wheaton High School. It's going, I'm learning to give myself a compliment, like I'm doing good, to the point where I was doing security for about 13 years and I was working at a school. I'm friends with a lot of people over there. And that was the scariest thing to do, is to do a career change in your 30s. That was scary for me to do that. I went to another job in a security company. They promised me the whole world, man, we're gonna make you supervisor, we're gonna do this. I was like, for some reason I cannot get comfortable in this space. What is going on? Like I'm making more money, but can't get comfortable. Now I prayed a prayer about, God, show me my purpose. I think I'm ready to really walk in my purpose. Pun intended. So I remember one day they were trying to fire me, the security company that I left. So it's like, and God was like, I got something for you. This opportunity. You say you want to leave. You say you want to tell your story. You say you want to help. You help. Here you go. That's your opportunity. And it's one of those things where, of course, you do it to make money. Of course, you do it to provide for your family. But the feeling of helping someone out, the feeling of being consistent and showing up every single day, the feeling of this is what I'm going to do. No matter how long I'm in this place or whatever, I'm going to make a difference in someone's life. That's another added layer to my purpose. I'm at the point where my self-love journey is non-negotiable no matter what happens in my life. Your self-love journey does not stop. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you're married, you still have to work on you. The most important person in your life is you. Because if you don't take care of you, you cannot take care of your kids. You cannot take care of your job. You cannot take care of your spouse. You have to show up for you. The fact I'm at a point in my life with, honest to God, with tears in my eyes, I am happy as I am as a person. I am rich. I am wealthy. That's the point where most people got to get millions of dollars to get to this point. The fact that I wake up every day and I'm happy with me as an individual, everything else is an added bonus. That part feels good.
I'm glad you said that. Now you got me ready to say amen. I wanted to segue into something else that was scary because you talk about shifting careers.
Yes.
Now you went from obviously the security job to now being a youth
Uh-huh.
specialist, right? Development
Yes.
specialist. What about becoming an author? How is that?
Oh, yes.
Let's
That
talk about it.
yeah, thank you for asking that. Um, Coming to author was it was one of those things where
I'm sorry, hold on, not to cut you off.
okay, when you're
You
ready,
said
ready.
becoming an author. Okay, now, come on now,
Love
let's go.
it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay.
Number one bestseller. It was on number one at one point. That
So,
is
as you talk about your book, I'm gonna hold it up like Vanna White. Go ahead. So, becoming an author, let's talk about it.
stop smiling. Appreciate it. Love, bro. What that realized that moment, that year, I stopped looking at my journey like this. You know what I'm saying? To the point where I had to take ownership of my success, right? It's so easy to give yourself the bad news or how it feels, but sometimes you got to take credit for your journey, how far you come. I have to literally remind myself, hey, you're author. Own that. Own who you are. That felt good just to have a book signing that was super successful. All the books that I had in my shelf were sold out. That felt good. I sold over 160 books. Like that felt good. I sold her. That was everything, yo.
Gotta
That
acknowledge.
yes,
Congrats.
acknowledge it. I love that.
Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me. Wrestling term. Some of y'all got
Yeah. If
that. But it's right now I'm working on my second. I want to do an ebook. So I'm
oh,
working
nice.
on it. It's one of those things where I mentioned this before, like I give myself the 5 second rule. And it's one of those things where if I have an idea, I gotta write it down quickly. Either I'm at work or say it over again if I'm driving, whatever the case. Because I give myself the permission to act on whatever I want to do. A lot of times people want to, how do you get to that point? How do you do this? It takes an idea in your head. It takes a one quick, maybe I should turn into that first step, turn into an action. That first step turn into whatever you want to create in your mind. So that's led me to just being more confident in myself. When I'm on the path of just continuing to work on myself. What are my blind spots? What are the areas I need to grow in as an individual? Just because you got married, yeah. What are the areas I need to grow in? What are the areas that feel like, and I used to think of areas of growth as a thing like, oh my gosh, why is that? Yeah, no, it's
It's a
fine.
scary zone. It is
It's
because you
it's
don't know.
fine. Yeah, because you
Yeah.
faced it. You're like, it ain't that bad. I told myself, I created another call for myself. Do you get nervous? Yes. Do you do anyway? Yes, I do. It
Yeah.
adds to your confidence.
So let's talk about for those who's listening that is curious about when His Soul Cries, that is currently out. That will be in the description if you're listening or watching this. Let's talk about what people can expect from this book.
Good question. People can expect from this book, what it is a men's anthology. So there's more than one story. There's my story and there's other guy's story too. It's about 4 other guys. And what it is, it's a way of hearing a different story from different perspectives. And you hear that the story can be told in one way. I may tell mine another way, and the person may tell us in another way. It makes it, you make it like, dang, men really go through this. Yes, this does happen to men. You don't hear about it a lot, but once you hear this, once you read the book, you're like, oh my gosh, this makes sense. This is why a lot of men are silent
And
because they
these are the
feel,
signs.
and these are the signs. Men feel judged. Men feel like if I talk about my feelings, I'm labeled insecure or weak. Men feel like I can't talk about how I feel. This book will change your life. I read even the stories that I wasn't a part of. I'm like, wow, this is powerful.
Thank you. Thank you for one, not only writing this book based on your story, but others as well. Hey, look, I want to normalize these conversations. I want people to understand that I'm just one of many that is
Yes.
struggling through this mental health journey, whether
Yeah.
it's suicidal ideation, addiction, or anything like that. So that's incredible for you to not only acknowledge your story, be brave enough to put it out there to the whole world, but also say, hey, you know what? Your story's fascinating. Do you mind sharing? Okay, cool. Let's come up with this project together. And we're going to not only have one perspective, but we're going to have four perspectives, and people can resonate and learn from that. So, phenomenal job. I want to segue into the next. There's something new that I've been doing. So, the next segment is called Beyond the Stigma, and it's pretty much five questions that I'm going to ask you,
Okay.
and it's just not popcorn style. First thoughts to your head. So, question number one: what is the best advice that you receive about your mental health?
Take care of you, putting you first. Your you never stops.
I love it. I love it. So, question number two: what is your most heartwarming moment that you had with a client that you've been working with?
So sometimes as I work in the school, you think no one's listening to you. And one of the students said, what will Mr. Cooper do in this moment? Well, that was, oh, shoot.
I'm making a positive impact.
Let me stop being hard on myself. That was cool.
I love it. I love it. All right. Question number three: how can we create a more loving and supportive community regarding mental health?
Keep the conversation going. Don't stop. It's the reason why we are part of the United Kings Circle. Keep the conversation going. Even if you feel like, why am I sharing this over again? Because you may never know. Like your story, your chapter can save someone's life. Keep it going.
I love it. Question number four: what is the biggest challenge facing the mental health field, and how can we overcome that?
Good question. I would say the biggest challenge in helping the mental health field, the there's like a divide, men against women. And it's so depressing to hear that we're literally turning each other down off stupid stuff. We're turning each other down off different opinions. We're turning each other down just off of thinking that each other is not good enough. That's the most frustrating thing to just look at sometimes.
I love that. And I feel like you answered this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. How have social media or the internet impact how we discuss and understand mental health?
Yes, good question. The pandemic, uh, I would say I saw the pandemic, how no generation before us or after us had a chance to like stop and just pause for a second. We had that opportunity to do that. And a lot of us took advantage of that. Even if you didn't, it doesn't mean like you're a lesser person, anything of that. Just making a point. But how we met, how other people met. I met you, Isaiah, Craig, like so many people we have met. Just to see everybody collaborate, work together, see Isaiah and Craig like travel together, like for an event this weekend, like that is dope to see that. And even if I'm not a part of the room, it's good just to applaud it. It is even like the people that we don't follow who are doing something that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
The fact that it's changing, it's that we have made progress. I do feel like that. People are making space for mental health. Like people are for men and women. Like people are making space. It's changing.
I, yes, it is. And yeah, you see someone like Isaiah and Greg, they're like, I look on social media, I'm like, man, am I doing enough? These guys are
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere. Like, everywhere. Um, and
I
it's,
said, what the my screen like 10 times. I'm like, hey, what am I
I'm
doing?
like, I gotta start posting, man. And but it's beautiful to see
Yeah.
that one, they're doing the work and it shows, man, it's amazing people that's not only talking about mental health or whatever challenges that they had faced and overcome, but it's man, yo, I can actually like text them and be like, yo, bro, yo, keep it up. I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? Or they can
Yeah.
text vice versa. And I
Yeah.
love that. And I love the
Yeah.
fact that one, I don't know how. Well, I do know how because we talked about it. He was like, "Yo, I wanna do this group thing one time, and we just have, like, a kings, and a king is this, and a king is that." So let's talk about that before we end this episode on what you started, and yeah, let's just talk about that. I there's no other segue I can do because
That's perfect. That's a good segue.
your vision and because you're one of the people that, "Man, I have this vision," and people think it happens overnight, and it doesn't. It's a
Right.
process. And you didn't give up on that process, and now your vision is, like, a real thing, so let's talk about this.
Yeah. So the vision is called United King Circle. It was what happened was I had this idea in fourth grade. So I was called down to counselor's office counselor had me draw something on a piece of paper. And what I drew was a bunch of guys holding this with their hands. This is what I drew. It may not look like perfectly how I'm explaining it, but that was my vision. So she said, "What does that mean?" I said, "It's a bunch of guys." She said, "Why are they different colors?" I said, "That's how I want to see the world." This is my fourth grade self talking like this. This is after the whole class thing and all that. So she said, "What do you call it?" United Kings. I said, "Oh," I said, "Here we are, 30 years later." So had this idea. I was like, remember I text you, I was like, "Bro, I got this idea, man. Let's do this." I text you, I text Leon, CJ, Craig, Neil, and said, "Let's do this, do this." The idea originally was for 3 weeks. That was originally the idea. And now we're on week 11 coming up. So it's one of those things where we have a vision, act on it. A lot of times it's easy when let's say you're selling your clothing, you're selling a brand, whatever you're doing. You get that hot streak going on in the beginning stages. So you're like, "Oh, yeah, it's going good. Post is good." And then everything slows down. In the middle, you're like, "This ain't it. Nah,
Saying this ain't what I envisioned.
this ain't what I envisioned." No, stick to it. That's on myself. I said, "I'm gonna stick to it regardless. I'm gonna keep on." Like I said, "Nah, I'm gonna keep going. We at week 11. I have to finish the whole year out." And
And
that's the attitude I'm taking towards everything.
I love it. And just for those who want to know about it, it's more than just like a hey, we're gonna chop it up, talk about sports. Like we actually
Yes.
have some deep conversations. From our experience that like that would segue into some of these, man, I'm like, yo, bro, I don't think we can do 2 hours. This might have to be a 3 hour type of discussion,
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty much, I don't even want to say like a support group, but it's how about an accountability group? We
I
hold
like
each other
that. I
we hold
like
each
that.
other accountable. "Hey,
Yeah.
this is a safe space. You can't be vulnerable. You struggling? Okay. Bro, I know you hear these kids in the background. You ain't the only one." You
Yeah. Well, you know what what I like about it is it motivates everybody. Like when I see you talk, when I see Isaiah, like all the hey guys like talk, it makes me want to do more. So it's literally to now to put this out, I had to like, okay, I gotta really talk in videos. I gotta really talk. I gotta talk on videos. Now it's won't stop talking. Like, hey, thing, let's do it on a video again. Like,
like, "Hey, somebody shut his mic off." Somebody shut his mic. But
somebody think it's Mike, you
but it's
know.
something that's been growing over time and to
Yeah,
have these conversations, these
yeah.
accountability. Because even in our chat, like not even our chat, like in the Facebook group, I always post, "Hey, if
I love
somebody wants to if you need a accountability partner, let's link up."
yeah,
You know, I'll squeeze you in my
yeah,
busy schedule. If you have a goal that you need to hit, okay, I got a goal I need to hit too. Let's be accountability partners. If you need certain, and that's what I love about it is it's not just everybody's just trying to share their stories. It's like everybody's trying to uplift each other.
yes. And then, what I like about it is I wanted to make sure that we covered every area of men life. Like we talked about father issues, mother issues, relationship, men's health, men's sexual health. We cover every single thing. And when I tell you this is the beginning, because I see where it's going. I see next year doing like men's retreat in August 2024, and I see us doing like a tour in 2025. So this is just the beginning. Like, this really bumped it. I almost say bumped it off. It's already took off. It's already the ball's already rolling. So I can see the vision like it's getting bigger and bigger. And the fact is, I love what I love about it is it's no egos, it's no competition. Everybody just let's do this. That's what I love about
I love that. I love that. Before we go,
it.
tell people where they can find you and also where they can find
Yes,
the book.
you can find that tongue tied, sorry. You can find When His Soul Cries on Amazon.com. The link will be somewhere.
Description. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or you listen to this
Yeah, yeah,
on your
it
podcast.
will be on there. You can find me on my podcast, the Walking Purpose podcast. Also a podcast where I created with my wife called the Impressionist Love Podcast. That is a dope podcast. Check it out. Love and relationships. You can find me on my social media. I am Dark Superman. The reason I am because I am going forward every single day. I see myself as a superhero, mentally, physically, spiritually, everything. That is my social media.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Craig, for doing this, and thank you for everything, man. Appreciate it,
Thanks for
man.
having me. This was amazing. Can't wait to watch this back. This is fun.
Yeah. Yes. With that
It
being
was easy.
said,
Appreciate
see you
that.
next time. Peace.
All right. Peace.